A crazy weekend of football. The MLB playoffs starting to heat up. And the NHL season starts tomorrow. All that and more. Sports Talk Live is next. And welcome to Sports Talk Live, a show where us so-called experts talk about what's happening in the sporting world today. I'm Colin Talbert, this is Sean Daniels, and that is Sam Labrizzi. Guys, a great weekend of sports, an exciting week ahead. Starting on Thursday night, our Green Bay Packers dominated the Vikings 42-10. They improved to 3-2 on the season. Rodgers throws for 3 touchdowns. Lacy runs for 2. Heck, even Julius Peppers had a touchdown on the interception return. So we'll start with you, Sam. What were your overall thoughts on the game Thursday night?
Total domination is what I came across from the game when I was watching it. You saw the offense that was clicking on everywhere. Run game was on, passing game was on, obviously, as we had the stats. Rodgers with 156 passing yards. Even Matt Flynn came into the game, so you know that it was just, complete domination by the Packers on offensive. And even the defense actually turned it up. Don Capers, came ready. They played a great game.
Sean, you agree? What do you think of the game on Thursday night?
The thing that got me excited was Eddie Lacy. He was starting to run hard, starting to run into people, trying to run people over. He wasn't dancing in the hole anymore. Scored 2 touchdowns. I'm sure Packers fans are excited. I'm really excited. Now that we get him going, we get the play action going, deep ball to Jordy.
Yep.
So this was the end of the streak of those 3 division games. They lost to the Lions, now back-to-back wins against the Bears and the Vikings now. So I guess how important is that, these 2 straight division wins for the Packers going on later in the season, Sam? How important is that?
Very important, because I think right now, this division right now is unpredictable. Because, this was 2 good games by the Packers, but the Vikings aren't that great of a caliber of a team. I'm still worried about Detroit coming up. Calvin Johnson is injured right now. He's kind of shaky, but he can come around and they can play it well too. Same with the Bears. If they get Matt Forte going, like he did this past weekend, and they continue that out through the rest of the season, this division can look pretty tough near the end of the season.
So Sean, he says this division very unpredictable. What do you think? Is it how important were these 2 wins right now?
Very important. One thing I did love seeing this last weekend was the Bills take down the Lions on a last-second field goal. The Lions kicker was 0 for 3, and then he just got released yesterday. Kind of reminds me of the time Mason Crosby a couple years ago was having kicking troubles, and it really came to show later in the season, playoff time.
So on both sides of the ball, just as a team, not like in particular offense, defense, I guess, who was the most important or most impressive player you think from that Thursday night game?
I personally have to say Eddie Lacy. If you get him going, then the rest of this offense clicks. If you get that run game going, and the rest of that, I guess the offensive line would be, as a core, would be more important, to begin with. But if you get that going, then you have so much more that's way more open with this offense. As you said, you can get the play action going, and then run the ball too. Eddie Lacy is a great running back, so if you get that going, you're in good shape.
John, who are you impressed with?
I have to agree. I want to say somebody else, but it's just too hard not to say Eddie Lacy. He was just running hard, running people over. He looked like Eddie Lacy last year as a rookie. In the beginning of the year, he looked scared running the ball. He didn't look like he wanted to be out there really, and now he just looks excited trying to run people over.
It was always good to see the running game finally get going. Eddie Lacy's first game, over 100 yards on the season. Rodgers found Cobb, Nelson. Hey, Devontae Adams got his first touchdown catch of the year. I want to see maybe him get more people involved, especially the tight ends, going later here on in the season. Speaking of the offense,
yes.
2 weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers told Packer fans to relax. Relax. That is the complete opposite of what Aaron Rodgers and this offense has done these last 2 weeks. Rodgers, 458 yards, 7 tutties, 0 interceptions. Yes, I had to bring out the tutties word. What do you think about this red hot offense right now? Do you buy this, or do you think of this these two last defenses not maybe as good as the average NFL defense? What do you think?
I think you need that though to get your offense going though. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you get it on a good roll, then the whole team feels good about it. Gets the confidence going.
What do you think?
Just getting the offense going is going to get everything going. Defense was making turnovers. The offense was in great field position all game long. Like Rodgers they didn't even have over 200 yards passing, I don't think. So he didn't really have to throw the ball that much, and yeah, the defense really stepped up for us.
And it seemed like a trend these first couple weeks of the season, these first 5 games, that Aaron Rodgers really only trusts Jordy Nelson. It seems that's obviously his go-to guy. I want to see, Randall Cobb starting to come into his own. He's got 5 touchdowns on this season. I want to see Aaron Rodgers get more confidence and a better chemistry with some of these other guys. Devontae Adams is going to have to step up. With Jared Boykin's going to be out for some time. Aaron Rodgers doesn't really like his tight ends. I don't think he likes Corliss. Richard Rodgers is still a young guy. So I really want to see the tight ends get involved. Eddie Lacy, that was big. That was big to have him get over a 100-yard game. I don't know. What do you guys think overall, Aaron Rodgers and the chemistry with his receivers?
I love the chemistry with Jordy. You can't deny that at all. Every time he's scrambling around in the pocket, you know who he's looking for. He's looking for Jordy every single time. But that could also be a problem. If people are starting to key in on Jordy, then who else is he going to throw to? He doesn't throw to tight ends. Cobb every now and then. Running backs, he kind of checks down every now and then. But yeah, we need a tight end presence.
I agree as well. That'll just help everything else, not put so much pressure on the receivers as well.
All right, on the other side of the ball, Dom Capers' scheme just lives and dies on forcing turnovers. And through 5 games so far this year, the Packers have 7 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, including those 3 turnovers against the Vikings. A lot of people not a fan of this Dom Capers scheme, so I got to ask you, we'll start with you, Sean. What are your thoughts, I guess, overall of the defense, the play of the defense so far this year?
They give up a lot of yards, but they make plays when they have to so far. Last week we're playing Christian Ponder. He had a couple of pretty bad throws, one right to Julius Peppers, but still counts as an interception. He took it to the house. We just give up a lot of yards, but we stop them when we need to.
Yeah, I agree as well, actually. I was one of those guys that wanted Capers gone, actually, last season. There's still a lot to be desired by what it's like he doesn't want to change his ways almost, like they're giving up a lot of yards. Yes, they're getting turnovers and stuff like that, but they're not stopping anything really. I just feel like, they're kind of just maybe getting lucky almost, but there's talent on this defense. They just got to figure out how to work it. And I feel like he either needs to find a different scheme, something to change it up, or, change, get them out of there. I don't know, but.
And talking about stopping teams, what they have had problems stopping teams, the front 7, the run defense is, we'll just say, be nice and say they're struggling right now. They're last in the NFL, giving up 163 yards rushing a game. So now it's the joke of the day for Sports Talk Live. You know my love of A.J. Hawk, which is very sarcastic. I don't like A.J. Hawk. I saw an article the other day that called A.J. Hawk the headless horseman of this Green Bay Packer defense. What do you think? What's going on with this run game right now? What's going on with this struggle? How do they fix it? I don't know. What do you think?
I think the reason they call him the headless horseman, if you watch the Packer games, every time he's in on a tackle, his helmet falls off every single time. But anyway, with the front 7, I think we really miss B.J. Raji a lot. People think that he just kind of sits in there and eats up blocks, which that's exactly what we need sometimes when people are running right up the gut on us.
Yeah.
Real quick, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, I agree. I think B.J. Raji would actually be a big help right now to clog those holes,
It's a bunch of smaller defensive tackles right now. I think they need a little more beef in there.
It seems they're trying to go for speed almost,
Exactly. Well, the NFL overall had a couple interesting games this last weekend. The Browns rallied from 25 points back to beat the Titans. The Saints survived the Bucs in OT. Like you said earlier, the Bills beat the Lions on the late field goal. So I guess just out of all the games in general from this past weekend, Sean, what was the game or I guess just team that stood out to you?
I'm going to go with the game. Being a big Packer fan, I loved the Bills coming down and beating the Lions. I was watching highlights of that, and I saw Alex Henry miss 3 field goals. 2 of them were 50 yards.
And then he got cut, too, the other day, too, to add insult to injury, I think.
He just got cut yesterday, which completely agree with. But, then the Bills come down, they hit a 58-yarder, Dan Carpenter.
Like that.
Something very long came and beat them, and I think that that really it made me happy as a Packer fan. I think it probably took the wind out of the sails for a lot of Lions fans.
So he says Bills Lions. What do you think?
Can I go with performances?
Yeah, you can go with performance.
I have
absolutely.
2 performances. I'm not really proud of omitting either one of these. First one, as I brought him up before, Matt Forte. He had a big game this weekend, and that is huge for the Bears offense right now. Because if Jay Cutler is going to be hit or miss throwing 2 touchdowns and also get the 2 interceptions, he's almost doing that every game. So if Forte can rush for 60 yards and then receive 100 yards, you need
incredible.
that. And then the other performance, Tom Brady bouncing back from the other week, the Patriots in general, that was just a great game by them. They know how to come back. I mean, I hate to admit it, Patriots sometimes, I like Tom Brady, you know, but...
And finally getting Gronk going too. 6
Yeah,
catches,
exactly.
100 yards. That one touch. I think he had that one touchdown late there in the game.
Yep.
My MVP of the week, if you guys watched that Monday Night Football game last night, Russell Wilson. The guy 18 for 24, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he sets a Monday Night Football record, 11 carries, 122 yards, a touchdown for a quarterback. Are you kidding me?
It's unbelievable.
He looked like it was like Madden running around out there all over the defense.
Exactly.
But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to look at some perfect pests. We'll be back with more Sports Talk Live in a minute.
Meet Tink. Oh wait, meet Khaleesi. These are 2 little kittens who need lots of toys and places to explore. Meet Coda. He's a strong male Siberian husky of 6 years. He's house-trained, and he loves children. This is Trent. While he spends much of his time out on adventure, he also makes time to show you his affectionate side. To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. Welcome back to Sports Talk Live. Time to play a little segment we like to call Buy or Sell. I'm going to ask these guys a question, and they will either buy or sell the answer. We're going to start first with the Badgers. The passing offense, to be polite, again, has struggled this season. 150 passing yards a game, 116th in the FBS. We saw Joel Stave finally, but he was 8 for 19, 114 yards. He did have 1 touchdown, but he also had 3 interceptions. So I'm going to start with you, Sean. Do you buy or sell Joel Stave resurrecting this Badgers passing game?
I would love to buy it, but I'm going to sell it. We don't have any receivers. Everybody is just loading the box with Melvin Gordon in there. They're going to force Stave or McAvoy to throw whoever's back there, and quite frankly, that's what the defense should do against us.
What do you think? You buying or selling McAvoy?
Selling for all very much the same reasons. You don't have a quarterback, really. You don't have receivers. And the whole offense is just going to rely on Melvin Gordon and the run game just in general. I don't know what you can try to do with this team.
So let's talk about the other quarterback. They got the boot to the bench, Tanner McAvoy.
Yeah.
He goes 4 for 10 for only 24 yards, 1 interception. So I guess, Sam, is he just struggling, or is Gary Anderson using him wrong, you think?
He might be using him wrong. You got to find he's a mobile guy, you know. You have to get him outside maybe, kind of like a Russell Wilson, you know, how he likes to run it. But you know, you just you have to find a way to bring out his strengths in the offense if you want to win.
What do you think?
You got to get him outside the pocket to place. He's got to be able to make plays. He can't just stand back there and throw to the receivers that aren't open. That's why he's throwing so many picks, and that's why our offense looks bad.
On the bright side, though, Melvin Gordon, who's probably sneaking his way back into Heisman talks here. 259 yards, 27 touches, 1 touchdown. Can Melvin Gordon continue to do this the rest of the season for the Badgers? I mean, he's going to have to if they want to keep winning games. What do you think, Sean?
I think he's going to have to, just like you said, but I don't think he can. He had over 250 yards, a career high, and he still only had 1 touchdown, and we still lost the game. You look at those numbers and you think, well, they must have won by 30 or 40, but we still lost to Northwestern.
What do you think, Sam?
I think so by default. It's just going to rely upon him, that's all they can do right now. It's the only thing that they can do. But teams are going to figure that out, and then they have to figure out how to pass the ball. So, yeah, right now it's going to rely on Melvin Gordon and the run game of the Badgers.
And the thing that you'd like to see, though, from Anderson is At the beginning of the season, Gordon was only getting 15, 16, 17 touches a game. Now they're finally starting to figure out that he's the explosive guy on that offense that's going to carry him through these games. All right, next one. In general, Saturday was just a crazy day of college football, maybe one of the most craziest in recent history. Oregon goes down, Texas A&M goes down, Oklahoma goes down. Maybe the best game of the day, Ole Miss beating Bama 23-17. Guys, great day for the state of Mississippi. They might still be partying. We don't know. But are you guys buying or are you selling this Ole Miss and Mississippi State start? Sam, what do you think?
Buying. I like this. I like the Mississippi teams right now. Mississippi State especially. That team has something special going on right now, I think. They're playing together well, and they're showing that they can hang with any of these teams in the SEC.
So he's buying. You buy too?
I think I might have to sell.
Selling, all right.
I think you have to be able to prove it. Like Alabama proves that they're always a good team year in and year out. Auburn, LSU. We just haven't seen Ole Miss or Mississippi State the past 5-10 years or so. They haven't done anything that big, and I'm just saying that you have to prove it to get my vote.
And plus, Mississippi State has another big game this weekend playing Auburn, number 2, the new number 3 team, new number 2 team. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. So brings me to this question. I'm going to bring another buy or sell question for this college football, this crazy day. The SEC West, they have Auburn, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Bama, LSU, even Arkansas. This West Division, guys, is this the best division in college football ever? Do you buy or sell that? What do you think, Sam?
It's something I'm going to have to say buy right now. As of right now, in recent memory, yes, I will think that this is the best. They almost should divide this division into divisions and just have those 2 divisions just play for the national championship, because it's going to end up being the SEC team that's going to win it, I think, no matter what.
What do you think?
I'm going to have to buy it as well. All those teams are stacked offensively, defensively, and they run the table in every conference, against the Big Ten, against the Pac-12, and all that. There's a big conference.
The thing that stands out to this conference about me is its depth. I mean, let's think about Arkansas. They're good. They're a tough football team. Don't sleep on Arkansas. You got the Brett Bielema style with those physical running backs, a physical offensive line. But I mean, come on, Auburn, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, 3 teams from the same division in the top 5 right now. Obviously, 2 of those are going to meet this weekend, so somebody will probably get knocked off. It's incredible to think how skilled, how deep this division is on the offense and defensive side of the ball. With star players, which kind of brings us into our next category here about the Heisman. With this crazy Saturday, the race for the Heisman has maybe taken a big turn, we'll say. One guy in particular that stood out again goes by the name of Dak Prescott. This is my guy. I mean, this guy, the Mississippi State quarterback, the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks are against LSU and A&M. Granted, A&M's defense maybe not as good. LSU, though, traditionally has a good defense. He goes 536 yards passing, 182 yards rushing, 8 total touchdowns in 2 games. No turnovers. So, do you buy or do you sell Dak Prescott as the leader for the Heisman right now? Either one of you. What do you think?
I think I'm going to sell it. Dak Prescott, he had 2 really good games, but my vote still goes to famous Jameis. I think he's still the best player on the best team, and until somebody knocks them off or he has a really bad game or if he keeps doing stupid things, then he might
even
kicked out of there.
Even with the missed game, you still have him as number 1?
Yeah. I think they're still the number 1 team, and he's still the best player on that team, the most valuable player for that team.
I'm going to sell, but I'm not going with Jameis, though. I mean, I understand. I feel like there's still a lot to be seen left in this season that I do not have a clear front runner. There's a lot of guys that on my list right here: Todd Gurley, Dak Prescott, Marcus Mariota, Jameis. Even though Mariota lost, I still think he's very good.
He's still the fine Hawaiian, baby.
Exactly.
I mean, come on,
and Melvin Gordon and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is fantastic as well. There's so many great college football players right now that I think maybe another week or 2 we'll start seeing guys, separating themselves from this Heisman pack. But right now I'm selling on your boy being the clear front runner.
All right. Let's go a little more locally, though. Wisconsin Badger, like I said, Melvin Gordon's carried this team the last couple of weeks. He has to be inching his way closer up into the top 5 Heisman. So, real quick, what do you guys think? Where's Melvin Gordon in all of this?
I think he's got to be right outside the top 5. He plays for the Badgers. They're 3-2 right now. They just lost. Yeah, he did have a career day, and he only had 1 touchdown though. But your team has to be, you have to have a winning team to be the Heisman.
Yeah, I agree as well. He's in my top 5 guys right now just because of what he is doing for the Badgers right now. If he wasn't on this team, they wouldn't be anywhere where they are right now. They'd probably be near the bottom of their division and stuff like that.
Like you said, a long way to go into the season, but at the end of the season, it's not BCS anymore. Exactly. It's the college football playoff. After this crazy weekend, the first ever playoff, probably shaken up a little bit here. Right now, according to Bleacher Report, Auburn, Florida State, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, 3 SEC teams in the Final Four playoffs here. Do you buy or do you sell these 4 teams right now being in the college football playoff?
I'm going to have to sell that one again. 3 SEC teams, that seems a little much. Maybe I'm going to give them 2 and then throw Florida State. And I'm going to throw the dark horse Notre Dame out there. Ooh. They're going to be my 4th. It could be pick or choose whatever 2 out of the 3 or 4 SEC teams that you wanted. All of them are good.
What do you think, Sam?
I'm selling as well. I do like Florida State, Auburn, and Mississippi State right now being in there, but you could almost throw that last spot, I guess. You have like an Oklahoma, Notre Dame. There's other teams that can come in there and sneak in that spot. But Florida State's probably going to stay there. I feel like Mississippi State is going to probably stay there as well. Whether they're going to be, they're interchangeable, but I think those 2 teams are going to stay. And it actually depends what happens this weekend with Auburn as well.
It's going to be a very big, very good game. Good atmosphere, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the teams that did lose on Saturday. I guess out of all those teams, so you got Bama, Oklahoma, Oregon, I guess, and there's a couple more other teams that lost. I guess out of all those teams, which team do you think has the best shot of getting back into that conversation for the Final Four?
I think it's always Alabama. They're such a good team. They 1 loss, you can still get into that top 4, especially if you're in the SEC. If they were to win out, I could easily see them getting into the football playoffs.
Real quick, what do you think?
Oklahoma or Bama. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I see that.
Well, we're going to be right back with some Who You Got, but first, let's explore lacrosse. We'll be back in more Sports Talk Live.
My name is Ashley Kelbis, and this week I am joined by my friend John Church, and we are exploring Riverside Park. Hi John, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you.
That's great. Well, why don't you give us a little insight and knowledge that you have of Riverside Park?
All right, well, Riverside Park was originally named Levy Park, and it opened in 1911. It was the idea of Dr. Wendell A. Anderson, who was the mayor of the city of La Crosse at the time. And actually, Riverside Park is conveniently located on the Mississippi River in downtown La Crosse.
It definitely is. Riverside Park offers so many things for people to do. That's why thousands come each year.
I actually live a block away, so Riverside's kind of in like my backyard. And I've lived there for about 2 years. I like to practice my guitar, and it's just good scenery, I guess, and it helps stimulate creativity. I've come down here just like on bike rides, along with a couple of friends or something. If we're all going cruising through, we'll hit the bike trails in the back.
We also visited the gardens where they had numerous different plants. This is a great place to go and take pictures, just walk around with friends, or take somebody out on a date.
We all just do like some stupid things here. It's like go feed the ducks by the river, or just jump into the river, or just have fun.
As you can see, Riverside Park is rich with history and hosts many opportunities for activities.
It is open year-round from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
This has been WMCM's Exploring La Crosse with Ashley Kelbis, John Church, Katie Butson, and Tyra Ludebaker.
And welcome back to some more Sports Talk Live. It's time for our final segment of the show. Who you got? All right, guys, I'm going to ask them a question. They're going to tell me who they got. So why don't we start first? Packers, Dolphins this weekend. They traveled to Miami Sunday afternoon. Pack looking to win their 3rd straight game of the season. So, Sam, who you got, Green Bay or Miami?
Green Bay. I have them winning this game. If you want like a score, maybe by like 2 touchdowns. Okay. But it'll be a good game for a little bit, but then they'll pull it away.
What do you think, Sean?
I'm also going to go with the Packers. It's hard to pick against them right now with the way their offense is playing. I know the Dolphins have a very good defense, but I think it's going to be a close game. Packers tend to always play close in these games, like against the Chiefs and the
random teams.
Yeah, the random teams like that, the Bills and Jets and stuff like that. We always play close games with them, but I think we're going to end up winning by maybe a touchdown, a little bit more.
All right, building off of that, Aaron Rodgers has been hot. Eddie Lacy finally had a 100-yard game. So I want you guys to predict the stat line for Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy for the game Sunday. What do you think?
I'm going to have to go, Aaron Rodgers is going to have like, not similar to the game last weekend, but probably like, 130 yards passing around there, 150. He'll have one touchdown, but Eddie Lacy is going to be the core of this game. He's going to have like 2 rushing touchdowns.
2 tutties. All right, what do you think?
I'm going to predict Rodgers. He's gonna throw over 300 yards. He's only going to have 1 or 2 touchdowns, but he's going to run one in this game. We haven't seen that all year long. He's been like scared to run, but I'm thinking he's going to run this one in. Lacy, I'm going to give him a touchdown too, under 100 yards though.
I'm going to go Green Bay 31, Miami 21. I think it's going to be a 10-point victory. Okay. More football. Wisconsin Badgers looking to bounce back against, we'll just say a horrendous Illinois team. I am a Fighting Illini fan, so I'm just going to say horrendous Illinois team. So I think it's pretty evident who you're going to say here, but we'll say who you got, Badgers and Illinois, and I'm going to add the question here, who's going to step up, who's going to have a big game? What do you think, Sean?
Well, you have to go Badgers, first of all. Big game. It's really hard to say anybody else besides Melvin Gordon, but I'm going to say Joel Stave. I'm going to say he's going to come out there with some confidence. They're going to throw some little short routes, get him going a little bit. And Badgers, hopefully they'll beat them by 30+. And if it's a close game and we end up losing, then I think we definitely have some bigger issues.
What do you think, Sam?
Badgers are going to win this game at home. Not going to be the quarterback play, though, like we talked about. It's going to be Melvin Gordon that's just going to carry the load for this whole game. He'll probably have like 3 touchdowns and, like 300 rushing yards, something crazy like that, But I don't expect it's going to be a combo quarterback game. I feel like it's going to happen. We're going to have a little bit of Tanner and then a little bit of Joel.
And I think Anderson did say that he's going to use both of those guys, try to use both those guys for him. But I'm just going to throw out a stat. Just being an Illinois fan, they're in the bottom 5 of rush defenses in the entire country. So I'm going to say real quick, over/under 700 yards rushing as a team. What do you think for the Badgers?
I think you got to go under.
Under.
700 is a pretty big number, especially when my boy Stave is going to have a good game.
All right. Well, let's move on to some baseball. The ALCS is already complete. Baltimore will be taking on Kansas City. Dodgers Cardinals, Giants Nationals. They still have to play. I think those games are tonight for a trip to the NLCS. So why don't we just start in the NLCS? Dodgers Cardinals. Who you got in that one, Sean?
I think it's going to be the Cardinals, but I'm cheering for the Dodgers. Cardinals seem to always find a way in there. Kershaw's going tonight. Last time he pitched, the Cardinals were all over him. He couldn't get anything going. But I think the Cardinals are going to win tonight and move on.
What do you think, Sam?
My gut's telling me the Cardinals, but I want to pull for the Dodgers tonight. Kershaw hopefully will bounce back, have a great performance, and then hopefully shut out the Cardinals.